Hey everybody, welcome.
Hey, welcome. Hey, Patty Duke, thanks for
Hey
coming on
Patty
through
Duke,
this
thank
week.
you for joining. Welcome to Politics and Wellness. I am your host, captivating Christian, and
Your co-host, Mr. Credential.
yes. And as we are, or some of us, majority of us, have been quarantined for this what, week two?
Yes, week two of sight and suffering.
Correct. Week two of self quarantine. Um, Boy, I've learned a lot about myself.
Yes,
And
soul searching.
I've learned a lot about a lot of things. Like I still don't like shopping, grocery shopping at all. Um, it irks my nerves. And even the fact that there are people, uh, less people in the store, but cautious people. Like you got the gloves, you got the mask, you got the sums that aren't wearing anything and they're just
Right,
happy go lucky. You
right,
got me looking at everybody like they got something, and I'm freaking out. So when they handed me stuff, I'm like, yeah, I got it.
right. And it's good that you mentioned that because it's going to tie into something I want to talk about.
It's just driving me crazy. So, before we
Welcome.
get before we get into any of everything, let me just say my greetings. Welcome to everybody watching. Welcome, Patty Duke. So grateful and thankful. Tiana TV, Miss T Velocity. Welcome. Love you. Rebel Son, welcome. And Brother Nate, always good to see you. Nicole Goddess, thank you for coming. Today's Sorrow, hey, how you doing? Um, okay. And if you
And
want
to
to say
all of
welcome.
those people that he named, I'm not going to go back behind them, but welcome
Right.
to you guys. So welcome and thank you so much for coming through to Politics and Wellness. And thanks, Miss Hall, for coming through. Welcome. But yeah,
Yes. And for those of you who don't know the description of the show, where we talk about politics and wellness and kind of sort of in some ways a little bit, they get all fused in together
yeah,
because some politics can make you go crazy and some things on the other end are done politically that also can make you go crazy. So
yes. They, oddly enough, they found a way to relate to each other. And here we are. We got the week.
at least at least it relates with us. I don't know. So
Yeah,
it works
it
either way.
worked.
Right.
It
So
worked.
anyway, where to start? Uh, okay, I'm gonna say this, and of course, this is my opinion, my view. So I don't want anybody to think it's overall. But I'm gonna need people to leave Nancy Pelosi alone. Um, for one, people like, oh, she holding up my money, honey. You're not gonna get that $2,000 or that $3,000. Every time they answered up an extra $1,000, trust and believe that's $1,000 and more that you're not getting.
Yes,
Okay, because every time they amp it up, the criteria to get the top portion is more.
yes,
So please let us not get into the weeds of things thinking that because this is all, again, a political setup to have the Dems be the blame for the reason why you don't get a stimulus check.
yes,
Now, let's be very clear. This stimulus check or whatever you might get, it's money now that you're going to pay for later.
right.
Okay,
Hmm.
so um, this is how we used to say, or the saying goes, rob Peter to pay Paul. This is just that. It's having the extra money to pay a bill and going, do I really need to pay this bill, or could I go grocery shopping and pay the bill later?
Right. Exactly.
That's just what this is. So that's
Exactly.
giving corporate businesses, because those are the ones that's getting the big money. The little chump change you're getting is just enough to keep you quiet, keep you happy, keep you satisfied, even hoping that you go to the polls and go, well, he gave me a
Yes.
couple extra
Exactly.
$100. I'm gonna hit the cleaver and vote for him.
Exactly.
Now, like I said, um, most of us are only getting a couple $100. You're not getting that $1,000, or even close to the 2,000, 3,000. They could go up to 5,000. Ain't none of us seeing that. Okay, unless you got something I don't, know about, which is perfectly fine if you get the 5,000. Kudos to you.
Right.
But the top amount for that thing is not for us. A couple of us will be getting a couple hundreds and so on and so forth. Now, my question to all of those people that say Nancy Pelosi is holding up your money. Okay, all right, we're already in quarantine, right? Right. Let him tell it. He wants to start having people back out in public pretty soon. We don't necessarily know how long this thing will be, right? So, say if the quarantine is extended, okay, how are you going to get your money? Then, when your money does come, who's cashing it?
Well,
For those of us who don't
you
have,
say that, and I gotta say that you can easily, because if you have a bank, a lot of banks are doing allowing you to deposit the check digitally, so through a
yeah,
mobile app or whatever.
yeah.
So that's how you cash it.
No, but I understand that. And those are great for the people that have bank accounts. But there's a lot of us in our communities that don't have bank accounts that go to the local check casher to cash your
It's still
checks.
open. Oh, believe me, the people are gonna go. You say money,
Yeah, no,
they're gonna go out and do it.
I understand that. But with things set to close, like here in Maryland, everything was closed at 5 o'clock. That's non essential, right? Okay. So if you then reopen things so people can go cash the check, then close it back.
Well, that's not. I gotta challenge you on that because the liquor stores cash checks, and the liquor stores are one of the listed as an essential. I'm sorry, place to stay open. So that's where people will go to cash their check.
I get all that. I get all that. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. My point in the whole thing is that if we all had to line up at the liquor store to cash our checks, there is no way that everybody's going to be able to cash their checks when there's long lines of people that have been in quarantine forever trying to cash these checks from this stimulus thing. That's my whole point. My whole point of the matter is, it's a lot of hype, but behind the hype, it's really stuff that's really happening. Things are really going to get cut due to this. Um, it's a whole lot of other things. There are other things in the bill, in the stimulus package that they are wanting to cut. That a lot of the Dems are saying, "Hey, whoa, that don't have nothing to do with you helping the people. If you're gonna help the people, you can't cut their programs. If you're going to help them, help them. You can't help them, give them the money, then cut the program that helps them. Say, like, example, say, like a food stamp situation. I'm going to give you $300, but then I'm cutting your food stamps for a period, for whatever. So
Right,
you get this $300 to get your food, but after you spent that $300, then what's next month?
right. Well, I get we had touched on this before in one of our lives, maybe a week or two ago, and I mentioned that the money the money is not free. It's coming from somewhere. So no matter where it comes from, how they take it back from you, what they tap into to give it to you, it's not free money. Unless you earn the money, nothing is free. Unless
Right.
you earn it yourself and get out there and do what you need to do to get it, it's nothing free. It's a bribe. But you just need to see what.
No, nothing. That's all. I mean, my smile was in agreement.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
that's all it
No,
is.
I just wanted if
It
there
is
was
to
a
get
challenge.
no, not really. I mean, it's to get the people to say, "Oh, okay, well, he did this, so I'm voting for that because I got that."
Right.
Um, and it's so much more that you're worth than
a
a couple
thousand
hundred
dollars.
dollars or
Right.
$1,000, if at the most you get that. And that's what
Right.
a lot of people don't fail to realize. Every time that they go back to this drawing board, they are etching out more uh, things that would qualify a lot of us to get the $1,000 to make it like, no, actually, you got to now be making this amount of money.
But see,
Even a single person. Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say people are not concerned about going deeper than what is being offered on the surface. It's about glitz, it's about glam, it's about what you're going to give me. As long as you can line my pockets, you're going to make me happy. We live in a money
Yeah,
hungry society. So
yeah,
nobody
it is.
cares.
Yeah, it is. You're absolutely right. But at the same time, though, it creates it creates a level of it just extends the level of distrust that already kind of exists with government and people. Um, and then there's also this level of as long as you give me some money, I'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like I just
Yeah,
want
that's
money,
it's always been that way though.
but that's just
You
like
know, you could go give somebody money continuously and they'll act like they're your friend, and once the money stop, so does the friendship. Once you stop being able to pay and take them out and do all this other stuff, that's
right.
when it's
Yeah, that's when it stops and slow down. Hey, how you doing, Haitian princess? Welcome, welcome, welcome
hey
to
Haitian and everybody else has
and
been quite a few people to come through and we
Copy.
were going at it, so welcome.
Definitely, as we always do in the light way.
Yeah, most
What's
definitely.
up? What's up?
But
What's up?
it's just that, like I said, when something is going into this hand without something leaving the other hand, you have to question it.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
it's continuous or when there's a perpetuation, it's not like, oh, we're going to give you $50. They're
Hmm.
trying to reestablish whatever part of the economy is broken from
Right,
COVID, from these checks, because
right.
they give it to you, they take it from one spot, they give it to you and everybody else. You guys go ahead and put it back in. Now everything's starting to boom again.
Hmm.
But if you love the shop, you don't care about that. You just want the glitz and the glam. So,
No, right. You're actually right. It's sister. If you, well, it doesn't necessarily disqualify you, but it's for every amount of money you make. If you make a particular amount, it's less and less money that you will get. And if you don't really make that much anyway, you're not gonna get much. Um, because I think a single person. Last time I checked, I think it was in the 60s or 70s, and it could have even changed. Married couple, they want you to at least be making 100 and change together. And this is only to get like top tier. And a lot of us, we don't make that much. We don't make that much. Even sometimes together, we're just making, we're not even uh, pushing the $100,000 mark. You still may be in the, you know, the 50s or the
right,
50s and 60s together in some cases.
right,
So and then have kids or other responsibilities, pets, and so on and so forth. That it can be a big bit of an issue.
right.
So, you
While
know,
you were talking, I'm like multitasking. I'm listening to you and agreeing with you, but I'm also looking at Miss T. Miss T, CC didn't say it, not that it matters, tomato, tomato. I actually said it that it was listed if you go to maybe one of the local news stations. I don't know
yeah.
if
Well,
everywhere.
it depends on your area, but I know in Maryland they did
Yeah,
say there's a
that
list that the liquor
control.
stores, grocery stores, um, uh, other places like Rite Aid or your pharmacy
Yeah.
type places.
But even some of those places, like I know bakeries are staying open, so it's like people are able to still stay open as long as they're following things, and it's not like
Right?
a mass gathering.
Yeah, yeah, but that's my point. That if people are going to cash these things or do this, it starts to create
Mass
a
gathering.
mass gathering.
Yeah.
Whether or not, I mean, I was just going into the grocery store and I was counting the people like, it's starting to get a little crowded in here. Like who's
You
counting?
would think you would think that I was tap dancing the way I tap in and out of people. Do not walk down the same aisle that I walk down, please. If
Please
I
don't.
see you, I'm going the opposite way. And it's just respect. If I
Yeah.
see you, I'll stop and turn around because I don't want to even risk it. My life is too great for that. Like,
Right.
keep that way over.
Right.
And I feel for the people who are suffering from it, but I can't say why they got it or how they got it. I mean, it could be before maybe even we really even knew what it was. However, now that we know what it is, oh, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
I'm not playing. We are only going to elbow each other.
Yeah.
If we can't do that, it's all love. But I'm sorry, don't touch me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
No,
in the least.
I totally get it. And the reason why I even brought that up because on the political side of things, not only are people blaming Nancy Pelosi, but however, there is a little double-sided thing to this stimulus package. the Trump administration, as far as the president's businesses, have been suffering due to this um, quarantine. So part of this stimulus package that is for big businesses will also benefit the president himself. Now he's not legally allowed to make money off the presidency. He's not. Yet he does, he does. And everybody is
Mhm.
none the wiser to it. And it's just like everything's okay. Excuse
Okay.
me. So a couple, like about 50 million of this, or maybe more. Don't exactly off the top of my head, but I know it's in the millions, a lot. Uh, that he, is planning to get because of his business hardship, which is why they're pushing for the big businesses to get the bailout money to keep them afloat, like Boeing, like the hotel industry, and
Mhm.
he falls in line with the hotel industry. So that was just an interesting nugget that I was like, always
Yeah.
trying to get money, always
Yeah.
trying to get money and have the taxpayers pay for it. And yet you
Mhm.
looking at it like, oh, he's doing such a great thing, giving us money in this time of crisis. Oh no,
Mhm.
he's in his own pockets, ladies
Of
and
course.
gentlemen.
Self-interest. Welcome 777 and Jade the one, and I want to go back real quick to what Miss T said. Now, what does that really say about us about liquor store being essential? Now, I get where you're coming from with that stance, and I thought the same thing at first. But the problem is, it's the fact that they're not considered essential. It's just that they're not causing a problem. And you can do more in a liquor store. Like I said, you can cash checks. Some liquor stores you can pay bills, like gas and electric, telephone bills. Certain liquor stores have multi-functions, so it's not just about the contents that they're selling in the store, it's the functionality that it brings to the community. I'm not saying that I endorse what they do, but I'm just saying that that is part of the reason as to why they're considered like a non-threat, because the traffic in the liquor store won't really be that heavy, shouldn't be anyway.
The
Um,
other part is that you're going to be in the house bored, so they rather you be in the house bored, drink yourself half to death.
well, you know,
Right to yourself.
there's a lot of stores that are open. You make your choice as far as if you want to
What
go
you
into
choose.
it
That's true.
exactly and purchase it.
That's true.
So, hey, just like you go to McDonald's, you can choose to get a salad or you can get a triple, double, quadruple Big Mac. It's up to you.
All right. And Brother Nate, you are right. All of these businesses were bailed out before.
Right.
They were bailed out during the '08 crisis,
Hmm.
right before President Obama was elected and all of that stuff. And, into his first term, where it was kind of like, let's dig America out of this hole.
Right.
And again, all of this is great. When people hear a stimulus check and that they're going to get some money, everybody gets perked up like, oh, yeah, give me my money. But at the end of the day, like I said, it is that same premise that people seem to lose the idea of. It's like having the money for a bill right there on the table, and you go, dang, oh, I got a flat. Let me take this money and fix my tire, and I'll worry about that bill on the back end. It
Right.
is that same premise.
Right.
Um, and then when you're you're you paying more in your taxes, or you got more coming out of your check at the towards the next year or so, and you trying to figure out why is this, why is that, why is that, it's because of this. So I just wanted to put that out there. So now I'm done. I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
No, no,
That's
no. It was a good soapbox. It didn't make it slippery and slide too much. Hey, Taneri, welcome. The sister said I'm in the medical field, essential personnel. So we've been given papers stating to keep out in the cars in case we're pulled over by the police. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what state. That is a good thing. A lot of times they do that because of like,
Say it to
it's a
and it's
storm, anything like that. It's to keep you protected. And that's actually protocol throughout, no matter what's going on, because you are considered essential, and they're trying to keep you from going to jail and all the other good stuff. Hey, welcome, Jerry Wilson.
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Wilson?
And
Hey,
speaking
Mr. Wilson.
and speaking of healthcare and gloves and everything, I want to put this out there on a healthcare tip. All of my healthcare professionals and even the ones who aren't can learn something if you don't already know. So gloves are considered to be personal protection equipment, PPE, so gloves, hair scarves, certain gowns and things like that within the field are considered to be PPE. So the idea is that once you finish with the gloves, you're supposed to take them off because
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of people in not liquor store, I'm sorry. We talking about liquor stores and I'm just stepping
Yes, yeah.
in stores, grocery stores, supermarkets, Walgreens, you name it, that are wearing the same pair of gloves all day long from person to person. And gloves are supposed to be worn to do a task, take them off, and then put them into the trash, sanitize your hands or wash them, and then do it again. So that person that is wearing those gloves are keeping them and moving them. I mean, I'm looking at something in the chat. Anyway, keeping them and spreading germs from person to person, from your credit
Mhm.
card to your receipts. And that you should, when you go into these stores, do not allow these people to do that. You ask them to take their gloves off. You ask them to change them. You ask them to do whatever it is that you need to, or you can go to another line and call their supervisor because that is actually wrong. It is far more harmful for you to keep the gloves on and wear the same gloves
Mm.
all day than it is for you to actually not wash your hands.
Right. Hey,
And
Jay Dunn, how you doing?
that was Hey Jay done. I feel like I missed something, but yeah, it it is vital for you to be careful of how you come in contact with people who wear gloves because again, they're passing germs around. Those microorganisms. I'm sure at the end of the day, when they take them gloves off or whenever they decide to take them off, and you put those underneath of a microscope, those things gonna light up like ever with all
Mhm.
types of germs, microorganisms, and stuff. So again, in protecting yourself, please keep that in mind when you're going out and shopping and everything. Please be safe and be careful about how you um, allow people to come into your space. Don't be afraid of saying I'm sorry, but be polite. But say I'm sorry, you're a little too close. We need to be practicing social distance.
Mhm.
Move, move.
That's all I kept saying in the grocery store. Every time someone got so close, I was like, social distance.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person I will let you go in front of me so I can get out of line. Again, I'm a germaphobe, so I will get out of line if you keep being too close to me. Don't cough. That's nasty anyway, but it's even nastier being out with what we have going on. Just demand self-respect.
Right.
Demand respect of your personal space and your health when you're going out. Do not allow these people to enforce upon you their nastiness with their germs because we're living in a really trying time right now. So I just
Very
wanted to
true.
stress that.
Yeah, very true.
Hey,
Uh,
Jay Dunn.
hey, there's much of nothing I could say behind that. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Uh, I'm sorry, as you were talking, a
Uh,
thing came across my the top of my computer, basically saying that the GOP is calling for, and I haven't read in depth the article. I really just skimmed it just a second ago. That
okay.
the GOP is kind of saying, the GOP, excuse me, is kind of saying, in a nutshell, like, let the old people go. Like, you've lived your life. Um, the title of the article actually reads, I'd rather die. Glenn Beck joins GOP for call for old people to sacrifice themselves. Now, I don't know what kind of world we are going to where in which we're basically at this point saying that if you're not healthy, you might as well just let it take its course so we can move on with regular life. Or if you're not, your immune system is not strong enough
That's
to
wrong
be
as
able to
anyway.
handle it. I just, I
Hmm.
don't even have words. It just came across and it totally took my whole, like,
Oh, I have words.
the
Uh,
level of respect that we are showing right now for those that have come before us. That, um, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying every person has done great deeds, but they've lived a life. They've, earned their stripes, so to speak.
right.
Why can't we not have a place where we respect them? Um, why in this age of something happening, I don't want to disrupt my life to protect anyone. So what I'd rather do is I'd rather see these older people going about their business so I can move forward in my life and do what I've been doing, washing my clothes and going to the laundromat and all these things that we took for granted before. It's just ridiculous.
So
That just that just
I'm
made me.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm struggling to figure out how allowing the older people to catch the disease, well, the virus, and pass on supposedly is going to improve or change or stop the virus from moving on to other people thereafter.
Well, I'm sure that a lot of them think, and you're right, Armand hit it right on the nail on the head, basically saying that almost the whole Senate is full of older people. So clearly, what are you saying? I mean, because yeah, a lot of them are 80s and so on. Um, like again, I a lot of people, and I'm sure it's a lot of because I have an article that I I can't wait to even dive into it. It's so ridiculous. But I think a lot of people think that the reason why we are going through all these precautions are just for elderly people. And the
Mhm.
reality is, no, it is precautionary tools for everyone. This this virus has no age. I have read people from as young as grade school to not too far off my kilter age of people 32 and 33 years old dying of this. Now, some people say they have pre-existing conditions, but we don't necessarily know in
Right,
every case because what
right.
is happening is only certain numbers are being told because this administration wants to keep the numbers down and the reality of what's going on down so it doesn't look that bad for TV. Understand that this is all for the fact of TV. He's not going to disclose exactly the numbers of people, exactly, you know, telltale signs that you may know that you possibly might have. I did do an article on my news feed talking about one of the telltale signs that I did read that is a clear sign that you may want to actually go to the hospital is if you cannot smell or taste, if you have no sense of smell or taste.
Mhm.
Um, even if it could be from an allergy or anything like that, you still want to go and check to make sure because they're saying that that is a telltale sign that you may in fact have um, the virus. That if you cannot taste your food or smell your food or smell anything for that
Mhm.
matter, like shampoos, your perfume, your colognes, nothing. Like you walk by something and somebody says, "You smell it," and you're like, "No, actually, I don't smell anything." Um, and if you can't taste anything or everything tastes bland, yeah, you might want to really start
That's
paying
interesting.
close attention.
That's very interesting. Thank you for that because I had not heard that.
Hmm.
So that's definitely something that needs to be shared and spread because I'm hearing a lot of things about respiratory issues and how you feel and things like that, but not like something that's direct. Like, hey, yesterday I could taste this, and today it doesn't taste this. My throat feels weird, but I don't know. Then if it brings the question, you should definitely take action so that
Yeah,
you can get on top of it before it gets on top of you.
right. Wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Um, let me see where it was.
Populate the world with
Um,
Bill Gates and kill them.
yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just going through this, but it's your turn if you had something else
Yeah,
to.
I was reading something as well. So something that I want to touch on is a little deep. So pardon me while we go there, but it's necessary based on something that I've come across this week. So
I just want to answer this question for Auntie Donna. I think going to the laundromat would be okay. I mean, as long as you're protecting yourself and I guess wiping down the machines as you go. So if you have some kind of hand wipes or something to protect yourself as you're doing what you're doing in the laundromat, I wouldn't sit in there if possible.
right.
If you could do what you need to do and maybe sit in the parking lot in your car and, kind of give it some time to where, which, okay, then you can go back in. I really wouldn't personally sit amongst the people in there. But I mean, if you
Yeah,
have
it depends
to,
on how crowded it is. Try to
right,
find a time of the day that's not crowded.
right.
Um, be strategic about it because you know it. You wanna. It's no way around it. You have to do what you have to do. You got to wash your clothes. So I just say be strategic about the day and the time in which you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Where was I at? So yeah, I wanna talk about something that's really deep, but is really necessary to talk about, and today that is suicide.
Mm,
Okay, so we all know someone or have known someone who has felt a certain type of way, and
mm,
today I'm not going to try to address because the situation is too broad and too different for everyone as their reasoning. But what I want to do is say that when you're dealing with someone or trying to help someone in the midst of suicidal thoughts, to be gentle. Don't inflict your opinion. Don't enforce what you want them to do. Don't enforce what you think. Just be gentle. Just talk to them. Say, hey, how are you? Don't say things like, oh, you don't want to do that. Oh, you're gonna. Don't inflict any fear into them. Just be gentle. Talk to them. See where their head is. See what's going on. Try to get to the root of the problem, but be gentle with them. Please don't tell them what to do and make suggestions. And at very least, if you feel like they are a threat to themselves, reach out to someone that they know or call 911 and let them know that you have a friend that is contemplating this because a lot of people don't see anything but the end. And there is no one way to deal with it. There's no wrong way to deal with it, but there's a right way. So I want to make sure that if people don't know how to deal with someone who is contemplating suicide or speaking suicidal language or suicidal thoughts, to please send me an email and I can do the best because it's kind of hard for me to give a broad statement on this. It's something that needs to be specific to the person and what they're going through. Right, Nate, just listening is part of it. But sometimes people have an issue with accepting your listening ear because the part of the reason why they want to commit suicide is because they feel like no one has ever listened. So now that you want to listen and you have not listened before, they may not take it so lightly. So again, I just want to make sure that everyone knows how to approach and deal with someone who is dealing with those things. They do need a professional, undoubtedly, but they need someone to bridge the gap for them and make them feel safe to go and find a professional. So that's something that I definitely want, again, to leave that open on any day, on any week, and any hour. If something is going on in your life or someone around you's life, please don't hesitate to reach out to them and help them to deal with them, help them to try to cope with the situation because 5 minutes could be too late. So just take a little time and give them a little bit more attention than maybe you normally would and just actually listen to them because suicide doesn't always have a look. Sometimes suicide has a mood swing. Sometimes suicide has a you haven't been yourself. Sometimes suicide does not always talk to you about what they're going through and what they're feeling, but just pay attention to the ones that you are around, the ones that you love, and even your coworkers and be mindful of them because again, sometimes all they need to know is that someone cares and someone notices what they're going through, that they're changing. So again, without um, dedicating too much more time to that, I just wanted to make that known. Take some time to dedicate that because people are still suffering and struggling with this, and sometimes the trauma of life can make you really, really not ever feel the same. A flick of a switch can either turn you on or turn you off. So I just want to again dedicate some time to the sensitivity of the issue of suicide, and I hope and pray that no one in this chat or in the sound of my voice or anywhere has to deal with it. But it is a real issue.
Yeah, and especially at this time, um, with the isolation, a lot of us are not equipped enough to deal with, being alone. And it takes a toll on people. So it is good to definitely check in on your friends, your family. If you can do some sort of FaceTime, those seem to work better that way. You can see the person, um, and it can kind of liven the spirits up a little bit. It's a lot different when you're on the phone. You're just like, oh, hey, 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 and you hang up the phone, and it's really um, not much of a connection there. When you're seeing someone, just seeing someone could make a huge difference. So if you
Right.
can do some sort of video chat situation, I think those would be best. But it's definitely important that you check up on your people, just to, pop in to say hello. Um, we're all dealing with this isolation thing differently, so we
Right.
don't want to take for granted that other people are, okay, when
Right.
they possibly may not be.
Right.
So that's definitely something to definitely check in and look up on. Okay, this story. Okay, so Arizona man died, and I don't mean to laugh, but I'm laughing because the silliness of some people I just find like really like come on. So this Arizona man died. His
Hmm.
wife is in the hospital because the president said that a pill or a chemical in that is normally in fish tanks that clean fish tanks. I've been saying it all day to make sure I don't get the word wrong, but I think I am gonna anyway. Uh, chloroquine phosphate, which is a chemical that is, like I said, in fish tank cleaning adjectives. The president said that it's going to be a potential game changer. So this couple took it upon themselves to take to ingest this chemical because the president said it was going to be a game changer. So the couple wind up going to the hospital. The husband has died of cardiac arrest, and the wife is in critical condition. My point in bringing this up is just this. If you're not, I get it. He's the president of the United States, and some people take what he says as golden, but this man is not a doctor. He is not a trained professional. He don't even know what he's talking about most of the majority of the time. I'm sure of it. Do not please take it in your own hands to um, because he said, "Oh, this is going to be a game changer." He has no idea what he's talking about. He doesn't. He doesn't sit through briefings. Nothing about him says presidential at all. Nothing other than his bigotry, his brassness, and all this other stuff that many Americans think that that's what makes you an American, and it's so far from reality. But it is their reality because that's how they conduct themselves.
Right.
Some, um, and when they feel like something's being taken from them, of course, it gives them more reason to act that way. But it's just ridiculous. And at this point, I think it's a it's a dangerous place that we're going to where in which this man says something and you're naive enough to ingest something that he said, oh, it's a game changer in battling uh, this COVID 19. However, studies have shown that scientists are looking at other medicines that we use right now to fight flus and colds and stuff that are showing signs to actually working in, battling this virus. So let's just let the experts do this, okay? You
Hmm.
had Anthony Fauci, he, is disappeared because he contradicts the president all the time. If the president says something, he says, well, no, that's not necessarily true. What we need you to do is do this. And the quarantine is helping, curve down the situation. And because the president doesn't like to be undermined when he says something which is false, he doesn't like to be called out on his lies, especially, you know, amongst the people. He will diminish that person. So far, uh, and Dr. Anthony Fauci he deals with this. He is a specialist of diseases and infections. So then why would you not let him take the lead in this? But again, it's all about perception for this man. He has to be the leader. He has to have a win at any cost. So now they're saying basically, hey, we want to win. And if people have to die, because that's going to be the reality of it. If this thing grows, which, they say it and then they gloss right by it like, oh, I didn't say that, but it's going to get a lot bigger. More people are going to get sick. So what they're saying is they're going to start choosing who gets to live and who gets to die. And they're already setting it out by saying things like, oh, well, let the older people go. So then, you saying, oh, that's cruel now. Later on, God forbid, down the line, you won't think nothing of it because you'll be thinking, well, it's for the greater good. We're getting to a place that is starting to look really, um, really crazy. All of this for not being prepared. All of this because you're so hell bent on making sure you diminish this black man that you will destroy and erupt and corrupt anything that he put his hands on just so you can say you dismantle it, so just so you could destroy it. And now here we are in a place where all of New York has now become a total hotbed for this virus. Pretty soon, if this doesn't slow down in the state of New York will start looking like Wuhan, China, or China in general. That's how bad it's really getting. And every day, Governor Cuomo gets on TV to ask the federal government to come and help, to step in, to do something. And all he does is send the National Guard. Sorry about that. And all he does is come in and he's supposed to be setting up the National Guard. The Javits Center is now become a hospital. They have 4 Navy ships um, off the coast of the city, basically as makeshift hospitals to bring extra beds, and they're still short. I mean, this thing is really, really crazy. So like I say all the time, please let us not take this lightly. Protect yourself, wash your hands, cover yourself if you need to. Take your vitamin C's, your zincs, all that good stuff. Go
Yes, but make sure that you're covering yourself properly because most of the masks that people are using, and I understand that may be only thing that you have access to, but most of these masks are not fit for the job. Number one, because of the type of breathability that they have. That's number one. Number two, because they're not sealed. If your mask is not if you've ever had a fit test in your life for a job or for anything, if your mask is not around, like I wouldn't even be able to have a mask with my beard because it would not fit properly. And if I had a job that required, I would have to shave this off. So a proper fit for a mask is almost like if you're going underneath of scuba diving. It needs
mm-hmm,
to be so tight, nothing can get in, nothing can get out except for your breath and just
mm-hmm,
enough for that. So again, I know that these things are not readily available right now. I know that they are not affordable even, but please don't think because you got a little blue mask that you can squeeze at the top of your nose that you're going into the store and you're protected because you're not. You are not. It does not do anything for you but make you look like you're doing something, but you're really not helping yourself. You're endangering yourself more because of the false sense of protection that you have.
mm-hmm.
Same thing with the gloves.
Yeah.
So before we go following trends and buying all the toilet paper and buying all the gloves and buying all this and buying all of that, please make sure that we're handling it properly and protecting ourselves properly and also educating ourselves properly so that we can protect ourselves and pass it down to those who are younger than us. And sometimes even the ones who are older than us, because I promise you, I saw this lady who had a paint mask on and some deli gloves in the store thinking she was protecting herself.
Mm.
You sandwich gloves that have the little perforated holes in them, you can't. And again, it's not about me critiquing people, it's me trying to educate people because they are living a lie. You're more safe just going out without the false sense of protection than you are with something that you can still get the same exposure that I can with nothing on.
Hmm.
You know, don't touch doors. Use your hoodie, use your jacket, use your shirt. Don't touch anything. If you have sanitizer, carry it around with you. Hit it, hit it, hit it. Wash your hands every time that you need to. Rub your doors down, your external doors, whatever you need to do to feel safe, just do it, please.
Not very true. And do note that please, price gouging is illegal. So when you see, astronomical prices for certain things that are essential now at this moment, that is still illegal. So if you
Yeah,
happen to, please don't fall into the trap. The dude that was selling the antibacterial that he stole because he's a Navy vet. He was stealing them, I guess, I don't know, from Armory or someplace, um, and reselling them. He stole about 80,000 or 18,000. I think it was 18,000. Yeah, 18,000. Sorry, he stole about 18,000 and was reselling them for up to $70 a pop. And I'm thinking these were like little, like travel size or maybe a little bigger. Because in the picture they just looked at little hand travel size. But a lot
mhm,
of people will do anything in desperation.
mhm,
So we don't want to make sure that we get into a place of desperation where in which we're doing or buying these things out of a need to have them when there's other ways you can do it. Third party things. There's always a way. Like getting the aloe vera gel and some alcohol and creating your own, um, and just cleaning your places, wiping it down. Bleach is, bleach is useful. As long as you're not mixing it with the ammonia and stuff like that. Because
right.
I mean, I was young. I did it once. I was trying to be
Yeah,
like, whoa, wait a minute, this is too much.
flip you out of here.
But yes, as long as you're not, doing stuff like that, like let's use our common sense, those that have it, because it is not that common.
Mhm,
Okay, so let us use some common sense and be productive and smart in what we are spending and how we are conducting ourselves, because that all lines up to making sure that we surpass and continue on outside of this, because there will be an outside, and you don't want to be left out the curve when all this is over and we're looking like we spent all this money on products and stuff and it's sitting in your house and you can't sell it back.
Some
And
of them, sometimes you can. I'm sure everybody's gonna say, nope, back, no trade back.
right, right, not back, no trade back.
All right, so let's move on to something else, mental wellness that we can all should be able to relate to. Last week I spoke on content, well, actually, mod appreciation. So this week I'm going to speak about content creator appreciation. So I think I don't even think there's a lot of cases where we take for granted the people who get up here and actually bring forth something valuable to the table. So, just sometimes give them some positive feedback, whether it's right here, whether it's in an email, whether it's whatever, give your content created some feedback. Let them know that you appreciate them. I know I see a lot of it, and you guys do reach out to the content creators and let them know that you appreciate them. But I just want to encourage that because even though some of us make this look a little bit more easier than others, it is not easy to get up time after time, week after week, day after day, however much you do it, to actually get up here and actually bring content to you that is valuable to yourself and that you can use for with and for other people.
Right.
So it's a constant thing, it's a constant work. It is something that we always have to be mindful and appreciative of. So again, your content creators are just like you. They're just someone who have chosen to utilize the platform to reach other people. But when they do reach you and they say something that actually resonates with you, or whether it's fun or whatever, if you
Right.
enjoy it, just show them some love. That just
Right.
simple. Let the world go round. They show you love, you show them love back. And if you're not getting that love from your content creator, I suggest that you gently request it from them.
Mm,
Hey, I come to your chat every week and you never mention me. What's going on? You
right.
know, reach out. Maybe they don't, maybe it's an oversight. Maybe they don't mean it. Some
Right.
things can be solved with just a little communication. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, but again, I don't want to start a battle of that, but, pick and choose your battles and your comments wisely when approaching people. And of course, address people how you want to be addressed. But I think it's okay to say, hey, Mr. Credential, I was in your chat 2 weeks ago and you didn't shout me out. What's going on? It may have been an oversight. Don't be so easily offended by things that could be an oversight. Just try to practice reciprocity between each other.
All right, now reciprocity, SAT word.
I'm like, maybe I'm getting old. I'm like, what's an SAT? That's sad. Anyway, that's sad.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah, you would think I would be thinking about it, but apparently not.
But
Well,
anyway,
Patty Duke, thank you for appreciating your content creators. And I wouldn't say that you don't have the skills to do it. Maybe you just don't think you do. Maybe you haven't tapped into it yet. But if you ever get the urge, we'll be here to support you.
I get the urge.
What? I'm just saying, if you ever get the urge to want to start creating some content, maybe something you like to do, something you're good at that you can teach us, show us, enlighten us on, we'll be
Yeah,
here for it.
I mean, yeah, because I mean the there is no section. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so vast that there's so many things and opportunities and avenues people can go. And I say this all the time because it astonishes me. There are people that just have an owl on their arm, their pet owl just walks around and they have millions of views. And I'll be sitting there like, I mean, it's cute and all, but 2 million views.
Yeah.
It don't be doing nothing spectacular. And it's just like,
Nope.
so it's definitely an avenue for everyone. So, I mean, if you have an idea, like someone once suggested to me some time ago when I was thinking about it, just do it. I mean, that's all you can do is just do it.
Yeah,
So,
but understand when you set out the venture, it's not going to be easy, but
right.
it
It's
is
not going to
it
be
is
easy and everybody's not going to like it.
no,
You have
but
to stay true
it's
to,
self-fulfilling sometimes.
yeah, you definitely have to
Sometimes.
stay true to yourself and to your goal of what you're trying to do. Yeah. So, but welcome to everyone who's come in during us going back and forth.
Yes, welcome to you.
Lynn T, uh, James Wilson, Queen Diva, how you doing? Uh, Anywho, carry on. That's cute. Uh, KC, how you doing? Uh, yeah, that's all I saw on my end that just popped up. That was new, but yeah. So
Yeah.
that's all I have on my end.
I have one last thing and then we
Sure.
can so I wrote this is actually some stuff from the prior week that I didn't get to that I was about to not get to again. So
Mhm,
I want to mention that everything that we do is a part of our brand. So you
mhm,
can't say this is who I am on YouTube and this is who I am at work and all of it makes it is a contribution to who we are because if it's not who you are, if it's not part of who you are at your core, then you wouldn't be able to do it. So everything that you do and everything that you project out there, you have to be mindful that it is a part of who you are. There you can, like I said before many times, you can code switch, but don't say that it's not who you are when it really is. Because if it's not, I challenge you to question yourself as to why you do it. So I just want to be mindful of letting people know that everything that you do is a part of your brand. It's a part of who you are. It's projecting things onto other people.
Right.
And if
Very
they
true.
receive it a certain way, sometimes there may be a miscommunication, but don't get upset with people when they're seeing you exactly for who you are, what you're doing, and what
Mhm.
you're giving, but you don't want them to see it and you try to downplay what you did. No,
Mhm.
you have to understand that we have to own what we do.
Right.
And it's a part of who you are. And if it's something that isn't going the way that you want it to go, then I suggest that we get to a role where we try to make some changes. And again,
Mhm.
not directed at anyone or anything. It's just saying that take ownership for who you are and what you do, because sometimes we do some great things with people and sometimes we do some not so great things, but we have to own them equally.
Right. Right. That is very, very true. Because ownership and taking responsibility plays a great deal in the elevation and the growth of who we are as
Yeah,
people. Um, we can't uh, you can't grow or say you're grown. Like when people say, I'm grown," uh, whatever. But you can't be grown if you don't take responsibility. Being grown is all about responsibility, and it's not only just responsibility of paying your bills and making sure you have a roof over your head, but responsibility in taking. Charge of your actions and the things that you do and saying, hey, yeah, my fault, my bad.
right,
That was my fault, or things of that nature. There's nothing wrong with that. It does not make you any less of a man or a woman to admit your wrongs or your faults. It actually shows that you have a great deal of strength because you are willing to then humble yourself, as
hmm,
some church people say, humble. You're willing to humble yourself and move forward, and that's a great sign. So
yeah, yeah. It is definitely a good sign, and we all have work to do, whether we acknowledge it
yeah,
or not. We all have work to do,
true.
myself included. So, you know, let's help each other get there where we can, where and when we can.
Right, that is important that we do help each other. uh you know uh sorry to plug you in this, Lady T Velocity, but she does have a nice saying that she says at the end of her lives,
Hmm.
that if you see a king or a queen with their crown tilted, to make sure that we straighten it up, which basically means to always make sure that you are looking out for your brother or your sister when you see that something may not be exactly right. It is nothing wrong with nicely behind, as they like to say here, behind the scenes, or shooting an email, something personal, and saying, hey, I noticed this. Maybe you should try this.
Right,
Not to get in your business, but I noticed that you blah 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 blah. Is everything okay? You don't have to tell me exactly what it is, but I just noticed that something wasn't your usual self, so
right,
on and so forth.
right,
However you choose to, whatever, it's your business. But my thing is, as long as that we're respectful, and making sure that at the end of the day, it's okay to look out for the next person. It's okay to say, hey, are you okay? Are things all right? Because
right,
your past life,
right.
guy, you was all over the place, and I
Yeah,
was like, whoa, that was
yeah,
different. There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
Um, it shows that you care and
Right,
that you're really paying attention to the person, and not just for what they're doing, but you enjoy the growth that you see in them. Um,
right,
and it's helped you in some way. So
right,
it's a thing to give back,
right,
even in that small way.
right.
We have a question. The question is, will you? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if she was talking to somebody else or.
She was responding to somebody said something about the money, going back to the money and this the stimulus check or whatever you want to call it, this go round.
Okay, because it comes slow on my end, so I do apologize.
Yeah, it was
I
just
get
they were conversing amongst themselves basically.
okay.
Hey Donna Hill, welcome.
Hey,
It's never
welcome,
too late
welcome,
to come through.
and thank you for the thumbs up. And please, those of us who are in the chat and didn't have a chance or an opportunity to hit that thumbs up, please do so. It does help out with the algorithm of this and how many people see it outside of the people that, would normally view it because they are subscribed to me or to Mr. Credential. This helps spread the message a little bit more. So it's not necessarily about um, making sure my numbers or my things look good. It is definitely so the more thumbs up you have, the wider of a net it gets to reach to other people. And
Right.
certain things that I think are important and vital that many people should, see and they may be able to gain something that it may be positive, uplifting of something of some sort. We
Right.
don't give that kind of credit to. We'd rather give credit to the mess. But I
Right.
think we need to give just as much credit to the good things as we do the mess. Yeah, it may be entertaining and funny, but what do you come away with it? It's almost like when growing up, when I was not even growing up, but even as an adult, when I would attend my church and then go back home and go to church with my mom at her church and then go to church with my grandmother at her church. It's like if I went to church with one, I knew exactly what I was going to get because that's what I wanted.
Right.
Like, I knew if I went to church with my mother, it's Pentecostal, I'll be hooting and hollering, singing and shouting. All that good stuff. Grandmother, Baptist on that end.
Right.
And it ain't too much of that. I mean, they have their moments every once in a blue, but it's not like you walk into church and you like, boom, 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 boom,
Right. Right.
the
Right.
walls are already sweating and church just started. It's like, so it's not, you
Right.
get, and I've just learned how to maneuver, and this is, as you know, this has been my whole life. My great aunt has been Pentecostal and my grandmother, which is her sister, was Baptist. So
Right.
bouncing back and forth, my whole
About
life.
to
So it was
bipolar
nothing,
by
right?
now.
So it was nothing to me. So when I went to other churches and they wasn't doing certain stuff, I was like, what's
Yeah.
this? Like,
Yeah.
really out of place. So basically, I just say that to say that, it's nothing to
Yeah.
be the extra person and just extend yourself. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it,
And another thing I want to say too is that not for the sake of the likes or anything like that, but if you have somebody that you feel that can benefit from what we do and the things that we talk about, please feel free to, while we're live or even after, if it's something that was talked about today that can help someone that's dealing with something or unsure of
mm,
something, please share the link with them. Not for us, but for them, not for the likes, not for any of that stuff,
right.
but for that person, because that's what we want. That's what we're here for. So I encourage that. And if you have someone who could even benefit from the things that occur outside of just today, get them involved because a lot of people don't know that this type of content exists on YouTube. They come to YouTube for music or to cook or whatever their niche is.
Right.
But I encourage that, and it may not be today, but if any day at any time somebody can use something that we've done going backwards or going forward, please share with them because again, we want to help people.
Yeah, all this is vital. And especially, like I said, and I'll say it again, at this time, due to this isolation, this affects a lot of people. I mean, we take it for granted and we take it lightly, but there are a lot of people who don't have anyone at home. So
Right,
you can imagine it's one thing that their social environment consists of going to work and maybe talking to coworkers and, you know, friends and things of that nature. But when they're at home and
right,
have to be at home and just maybe work from home or do whatever, and you're by yourself, that can wear on someone. So, I just want to, make
yeah,
clear.
that's
And
true.
then on the political aspect of it, when you're hearing certain things like, oh, the president is pushing for maybe about another week, he wants people to start going back out into public and working and doing other things of that nature. When the experts are saying, hey, we need a little more time to make sure that we curve it before we start bringing the people back into population and being around each other,
Hmm.
because if you do it too early, it could get a lot worse.
Hmm.
So,
This
that,
is just the beginning. It can go further. We pray not, but it could. But
yeah,
again, the virus isn't what's driving this. The people are driving the driving factor of this,
Right,
carrying the virus. We are the carriers. The
right,
virus cannot do anything without our help.
right, right.
Keep that in mind. You
Yeah.
know, um, it's only getting worse because of we the people, as Cat would say.
Do. Thank you for my commercial. But it definitely we can do more damage to this than we can do anything helpful if we are, just thinking about ourselves. And at a time like this, we need not to think about ourselves. We need
Yeah,
to be thinking about each other and not wanting to infect and danger anyone, and it has nothing to do with, being disrespectful. It is what it is. it's
right,
it's it's a time where in which I don't want to make you sick. You may not want to make me sick because I may already have, asthma or something like that. Because again,
right.
it doesn't necessarily have to be anything with a condition that is immune, kind of an immune factor. This is anything from anybody who has asthma can be
Yep,
very much affected.
yep.
Um,
Any autoimmune
Diabetes,
system
yeah,
is
diabetes, so
disorder.
on and so forth.
Yep,
So, we just want to be mindful. And of course, those of us who are, going through our cancer treatments, you really have to be careful. So this is not a game.
it's not.
This is
Yes.
definitely very dangerous, and it can be a tipping point for people. So just
Yeah,
please make sure that we are protecting ourselves and others. And that's all. Just being a little more mindful at this time. And then maybe it can spread and we can be more mindful of each other and considerate of each other moving forward past this.
right,
That is my hope. My hope is not just when everything happens that we always seem to come together and, oh, kumbaya. And then once we get back to normal, it's like, oh, whatever.
right,
Um, but that we still keep a sense of, concern for one another. We ain't necessarily got to be best buddies or, you know, sleepover buddies or any kind of
yeah,
closeness like that, but just a concern for one
yeah,
another, making sure that we're all okay.
right,
Stop. Like,
right,
the focus is to make sure you're cool. Okay, you're good, and you can go on about your business.
right, right.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you for sharing this, Lynn T. Welcome, Bertha May, Miss Piggy, and if I missed anyone else on the way through, welcome and thank you for coming
whenever
on
I
the
see Bertha May, all I want to say is, "Welcome, Bertha May."
chat.
Just like some old, some old Southern lady, like, "Hey, Bertha May." Yeah, it's just too funny.
Yeah, and I know that people are tired of hearing about the virus, but the thing about it is that
Yeah,
things are continuously changing, and you can't get tired of it. You got to listen. You need to stay updated. You need to know what the new happenings are. So if you're not going to listen to the news, at least come on through and listen to Cap and his live that he does or his recordings that he does every day and get a little bit of education on it because as this thing changes, you may need to change and alter how you handle yourself. So it's just about continuous education of
yeah, and I
this thing until it's over.
and I definitely try to focus more on how it affects us as a people. And I granted, I know that there are some other, races of people that watch us too, and I'm not trying to diminish them at all, but just people of color in general, or those who are. Not of that percentage, which is majority of us, to be honest. It affects us in a certain way that it may not affect other people. So we need to be mindful that these things, they are real. The economic lines that are drawn affect us, and which causes when things like this happen that we are the ones that kind of really get affected by this. So
Yeah,
that's all that I
yeah,
really try to bring home, and hope that you understand that it is larger than just the sniffles, a cough, or this or that. It has economic ramifications that can that has preceded us and shall proceed us, that has been before us and after us, if we don't kind of at some point hone in and focus, like what can we do to protect ourselves
Right,
and
right.
move forward. Yeah.
I want to say this too, that another thing, stop stop the mass buying of the products, because if you don't stop doing it, the things will never get back on the shelf. Things will the daily essentials that we normally have and that we're used to having, we'll never get them. Please stop the mass buying. The products are being made. The products are going to be distributed to the various stores throughout your city, your county, and your state. Give people a chance to get things back in order, because if we keep mass buying and keep rushing to do it, we will never ever get back on track.
Mhm.
Don't try to get something before your neighbor gets it, because truthfully, you should have already had enough hand soap, sanitizer, and toilet paper and paper towels and water in your house to survive, because anything can happen, period. And I know that's not always logical, and always, I know that, I get that, but technically speaking, that's how it should be. So please give it a rest with buying. Encourage your neighbors, encourage your family members to stop going out and running and buying these things, because now people are just laughing at you.
Mhm. Yeah.
I watched the video, but then it was like maybe Costco, and the dolly brought out a brand new big old thing, probably their whole stock of paper towels, and people were there fighting over it, pulling and grabbing.
Yeah.
What can you do with that
Yeah.
stuff?
I saw that. It's almost like I'm gonna take it before you take it, and then it's like, are you really gonna use all those? You're
Right,
one person. Are you really gonna use all those?
right.
Again, it's a whole thing about being considerate for others. If you have enough, or you take what you need, like just take what you need. The overabundance is a bit much. I did hear that Slim Thug, the Houston rapper, has tested positive for the coronavirus. Also, people are using this virus as a weapon to attack others. I read an article that the members of the white supremacist group are telling their members, the heads up are telling the members of the white supremacist group that if you are positive or you do find yourself with the coronavirus, to go to police officers or, your local people, sneeze on them, spit on them, put your saliva into spray bottles and spray it on people. No, I'm dead serious. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I did this the other day. It was I did this. I talked about this the other day, and see, stuff like that really don't get views. But I mean, it's important when you live out in places like where I live in Maryland. I don't put it past nobody. um, so the one, there's a lady, I did this today. She was fighting her. She had for her boyfriend because allegedly the story goes she wanted him to have sex with her, but she did not. He did not want to. So they got into an altercation. She's a martial artist, so she wound up roundhouse kicking him and then punching him. He then left the premises and called the police. When they tried to arrest her, she was just, falling out. And I guess, they're taking precautions, not knowing, if she's has episodes of epilepsy or anything of that nature. They called the EMT. So when they tried to restrain her and put her on the gurney, she started yelling that she had coronavirus and spat. No, no, I'm and spat a whole heap of her fluids in that man's face. They then took her to the hospital, reevaluated her. Um, they haven't reported whether she does have the coronavirus or not. However, the EMT worker whose face she spat in also is not reported if they were tested to for what had happened. But the woman has been charged with not only assault and battery for the domestic violence
She
portion of what she did, but she's also been charged for battery for the EMT worker for spitting in his face. So I say all this to say that, yeah, we're being considerate and watching out for others, but do note that people are using this to weaponize themselves as well. So please be on guard, be vigilant. Do not, don't even play no games when it comes to, verbal altercations with people. Kind of be a little bit more like, no, let the person say what they got to say and keep it moving. Don't let nobody trying to get all up in your face
yeah.
because some people just like to do that whole spitting thing. And I know it makes a lot of people see red because I myself, you spit
Listen,
anyway. If I see it coming out of your mouth,
listen. You spit on me, y'all won't see me on politics and wellness anymore. You won't have to worry about it. I'm gonna need wellness and prayer and some commissary.
basically, I'm gonna just say my commissary number is blank, blank, blankety, blank, 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 and that's what you just need to send it. I love y'all because I can't.
I,
I
I,
can't. That is
that
the lowest of
that
the
is
low.
yeah.
Is
Especially now with knowing that you could get this. That thing, my soul shook
I
when
said, I said, what? You did what? But no, what really got me, not even that, but when I read the first article about how they're telling other, they don't call themselves the Klan anymore, but whatever, that they are telling members, hey, if you happen to come up positive, to make sure that you go to these places, synagogues, churches, local officials, places where, people of color will be or other ethnic groups. Um, Put it in water bottles or put it in spray bottles and spray it places uh,
mm, mm.
to
Well,
make
you
sure.
do know that after a while, I mean, I think it's general knowledge, but just in case,
Yeah,
after a while, the
virus.
germ, the virus actually dies if
Yeah,
it's out.
yeah.
So
But I
it's
mean, if you think about it though, if you got a mass amount of people doing this, you know what I'm saying? Because again, there's a difference when we think of things, we think of things in such a microcosm type of way,
right,
but there are other people who, they may follow the principles, but they don't publicly let you know that they follow the principles. So
right,
it's a lot of people that we work with, a lot of people that we socially interact with, who really have these underlining feelings and this underlining hatred to where in which they may even carry out these things, on a regular basis. Because if I keep doing it, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, it's gonna, it don't take much,
right,
one or two people, and then that one or two people can then take it home, unbeknownst to them, give it to their families, and so on and so forth.
right.
So it's always
Yeah, for the sake of yourself and other people, try to beyond just the virus, stay away from people being that vicious out here. If you see
yeah,
somebody looking suspicious, listen to your gut. Don't even wait for your gut. Just get away.
right,
Just stay away from anything and everybody that you do not know and you do not trust
right,
because it's not worth it and it's not worth the jail. I meant what I said, but in reality, I know that it's not an appropriate response. So I want to be clear on that. But at the same time, everybody has their limit. Like somebody just said, there was grounds for blacking out, and it can happen.
yeah, it can happen. Yes,
The
spit
trauma
on
can
you.
cause
That's
you to
just
black out. I'm sorry, what you were saying?
no. I mean, I don't know. I was just saying, if somebody spits on you, yeah. I mean, anybody would, be like, "Whoa, wait a minute,"
Temporary insanity.
yeah, and all that other stuff goes out the window. And I mean, you,
Yeah. Jay Dunn, probably a little over a year. Probably. I mean, I'll trim it, so really stopped counting. So probably going on a year. It's probably been about a year now, maybe a little year and a few months, maybe. I really don't know. But I didn't know if I wanted to keep it at first, so I used to trim it a lot, but now I'm just kind of letting it do its thing and hang out. So yeah, probably about that time.
yeah, you got it. You got that.
What?
No, I said you got that. This is as much as I even this itches. I want to go shave this, and it'll be gone by.
See, the shaving stuff off, it just don't work well for me. It just don't work.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, but are we still doing the
If you wanted to, I
yeah?
mean,
If anyone jumps on, then why not?
okay. Well, I will pop this on, and if anybody wants to pop in and say something, we'll just do this for a couple of minutes, and then we'll just close this out. Once I find you, there we go. Bams.
It won't hurt when it's time to go to the buffet.
So,
I was reading
uh,
Bertha made a comment. It won't hurt. You have to learn how to eat with it so that you don't look a fool.
getting all kinds of liquids and stuff.
Yeah, I always ask for a beard check anyway. Like anything in my beard, just to make sure,
It's not
But
a piece of chicken meat, right?
a little piece of cow.
That is definitely crazy. But yeah, I mean, other than that, that's really all I have. Just let us make sure that we are being vigilant. Yes, I know this man is doing a press conference almost every day, and I know a lot of people be like, oh, I wish you would go live, because I do get that. I wish you would go live after he does his press conference, but it takes a lot for me to sit through his press conferences and really listen to him,
Yeah.
because his vocabulary is very limited for somebody of a 70 and change year old. That's one. Two, he just sounds crazy when he talks to me. I just be like,
Yeah, you don't need vocabulary when you know everything, right?
I'm just saying, I don't know. These people just, blah. I'd be like, who voted for you? But then that
Um,
people did vote for you. And, what can you say?
you
So,
know,
I don't know.
unfortunately, everybody has the right. Some people just don't choose their right properly.
Hey, a little shade, all love. How you doing?
Hey, little shade, welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is nice to see you. Yep. So, like I said, we'll just keep this open for a few. The number is here if anybody wants to call in. If not, that's cool too. Just if you had any extra questions or something that you didn't want to necessarily type, but you'd rather say it, that is why we just open that up. But again, if not, no love lost. The information is already there, and you can always go back and play back and however you see fit.
The calling is a bonus, not a mandate, but we just try to connect with people, allow to other people to connect with us. So we're actually doing it for, not for our benefit, for your benefit. So we encourage it, but
Right.
we're okay if you do not call in. We thank you for your support and your participation otherwise.
Len T, you are good. I can't even do 5 minutes, but I have to because of what I do. So I have to kind of listen and kind of. I'd be so tuned out. Like he said, what? Like my friends be like, "Oh, you must be listening to him because you get so angry, or you get so." Because I just be like, "What did he just say?" Oh, speak of the, we have a call.
Okay, cool.
Crank this up a bit, then. Caller 2319, you're on. Welcome to Politics and Wellness. I am Captivating Christian and Mr. Credential. Hello.
Hello, gents. I just called in just to say hello. And as far as Captain Cheetos, I cannot listen to him. You have to have a replay of CNN or something like that, but the man just ruins my nerves to listen to him.
Oh, yes, trust me. I totally agree and wholeheartedly. He works my nerve, but I totally get it. Definitely.
Yeah, I know we need to know what he's saying, but some of the stuff that he says, like opening up business just for the economy, that's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah, we need to stay in so these numbers can go down because people are spreading it. The disease is not walking around by itself and saying, let me see who I'm going to infect today.
Right.
So he just has to learn. Well, he doesn't want to learn because he knows everything.
Right.
I forgot that.
Right. He has a very smart brain. Stupid.
Yes, I'm very intelligent. I know everything. Yes.
Right.
Like you said, lots of brains up here.
Right.
But I just called in just to say hello.
Thank you.
To you all and the chat, and that's about it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well,
We definitely.
I didn't even say who I am. Like everybody knows I am. This is Patty Duke. I'm sorry about that.
I knew it.
I just started talking like everybody knew
I knew it. I remember voices, so I know who you were.
Yeah, we called on. But thank you so much, Patty Duke. We appreciate your call and your support as always. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay.
All right.
Goodbye.
Have a great night.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
Not Captain Cheetos. I love that. I'm a Duke. You definitely.
What do I call them? Orange creamsicle or no? Orange cream saver, something like that.
Yeah, orange cream saver. I think it was orange creamsicle at first, and then I think it changed. But yeah. Oh, we have another caller.
Okay.
Caller 3959. You are on the line. How can we help you? Hello.
Hello, captivating.
Hey, how you doing?
Credential and chat. This is Lindsay. How are you guys?
We're well, Lindsay. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just wanted to call in because I wanted you to know how important what you do each and every day and each week with this show is to our community. And I know I typed it in the chat, but we have to be realistic about this. We need to reach out to people in our community that we know don't have the access to the things that you guys are teaching. It's our duty, and I don't want to preach or sound, I know people love drama and mess and all that. I like to be entertained as much as anyone else. But it's time for us to take control of our community, and if this doesn't teach us that, I don't know that there's any hope for us.
Right.
Yeah. I agree.
Sad and dirty truth.
So,
but it is true.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're fine. It's a delay in it anyway. So
there is a delay. It's kind of, you have to get used to it.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it, and I'm actually going to reach out to some of my friends and have them start tuning in too, because they don't really do YouTube, but they are into this type of thing. So
okay,
I think it's important, and I wanted to let you know.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you
very much.
Always
we appreciate it, and we will welcome them with warm arms when they come through.
All right. Okay, you guys take care.
All right, you too. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
You are currently the only person in this conference.
I mean, it's always great to know that, you're valued. What you do is of value.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, I have not all the confidence in the world, but I'm pretty secure in who I am and what I do and what I am. But at times, especially in the beginning, it was a bit like, what you mean you don't like my stuff? What you mean you don't get a thumbs up? Well, why is this taking so long? Because it's vital and it's good, but it's like, not everybody's going to see your worth, and you have to know your worth long before you enter in anything. Not just this, but anything. Know your worth, know who you are, know what you bring to a situation.
Right.
And, just be sure in that. You may not know everything. You're not going to know all the answers. You're not going to, know everything all the time. But the foundation of who you are, what you stand for, and all those things, should definitely be hands down intact.
Right. Right.
So
And I agree with that. Like I said, we learn things from you all as well. So when you guys present things or ask questions, it start provoking and it causes us to learn and go back and dig into our knowledge that may be dusty. So we do learn from you guys and we do appreciate the feedback because we can't do this without you. You know, it's a dual effort.
Yes, definitely. And I would just like to give a shout out and a thank you to all the emails and the emails with the articles attached to them. Thank you. I appreciate them. I may not be able to put all of them sometimes in a news feed, so sometimes I'll pick and choose which one's a little more salacious or either going with what's on topic, but I do try to get back to all of the articles and add them somewhere into other bits and things because they are important and they are vital and they are things that affect us, either
Hmm.
as a whole, as a community, as a race. Um, and we have to, hey, it's happening whether we want to or not. Things are happening. So if we're not in the know, it's not going to stop them from happening because we're not in the know. It is gonna still gonna it's still gonna happen.
Right.
Uh, so you rather be in the know than in the not knowing category as far as that's concerned. So
Right.
um, just I don't know, just doing a little bit we can.
Yeah. You know, it starts with just that little bit, you know. So that's all we can do. It's just our part, and we can expand our part and do a little bit more. But you know, we hope to project doing your part onto other people as well.
Mm. Um, daily I come on. It's pre-recorded, but I am live in the chat. That is for my the midday news portion. It's just a midday news rundown of different things going on in the world of the news or that's going on politically in the U.S., sometimes around the world if it's big and if it's really something that we need to pay attention to. Like, wow, look at this. Um, but it's basically just a brief rundown. It's nothing really that long. I try not to spend too much time on the stories, just to give you a just about it. And if you're interested enough to, hey, jump back and maybe check it out, that's perfectly fine. But sometimes you just have a minute to hear, just get the gist of what's going on, or what's happening, so that way and that's just basically what I do. um, you know I try not to spend a whole lot of time uh, going back and forth. If I do go back on the articles, it's usually here, where I'll get a little more in depth in it, or on another panel, like the gentleman's panel, or the recap that I do on Saturdays at 1:30 is basically a recap of things that may have gone on during the week in either politics, entertainment, or what have you. And it is an open forum for anybody who wants to, chime in and add, their 2 cents. They're welcome to. But those are times where I can really expound on certain articles or situations, or even if you have a question, I can really kind of go a little more into depth in that. So,
Right. Right.
yep.
Thanks, James. We appreciate the compliment. Just trying to, be positive to the best we can as we explain and just, help people out where we can with the knowledge we have. Like I tell my friends, I already paid for it, so why should you have to?
All right, that is true. Tari, yeah, I saw that. I just wanted to, just for somebody who didn't catch that, but definitely appreciate that, Tanari. Thank you. um, I guess on that note, if you don't have anything else, we can.
Well, I actually don't have anything else.
Okay. Well, you guys, we would like to say thank you for coming by. Uh, again, even after this, if you have any questions, you can always email us. You can email Mr. Credential at, was it at Mr. Credential at
Mr.
gmail.com?
Yeah, Mr. with no period
No,
at gmail.com.
is there a period or no period?
No period.
Okay.
No period. So I don't know who it was, but I'm gonna leave them totally anonymous, but I wanna say thank you so much to someone who sent me an email asking me some questions about dealing with some things within their family and some issues. So I want to thank them for that opportunity to um, reach to them like they reached to me. So again, I encourage emails with questions and concerns to be sent to me, and I will do the best that I can with my knowledge to help you, or I can refer you to someone who can. So, or a situation or a facility who can. So again, thank you so much, and feel free to reach out to me anytime, sporadic or not, consistent or not, or just checking in. Feel free.
Right. And, vice versa. I mean, of course, I don't deal with wellness and mental health. But again, if you have a question like that for me, I can direct you to someone who can help you. So please, if you have my email and you feel like, well, I only have his email, so let me just ask him, feel free. I will pass your email along.
Yeah, I'll
And
drop my
then,
email in the chat as well.
mhm.
Because again, we go back and forth here. We're pretty versatile. So if it's something that you need to reach to me with politics, there's some things I do know. There's some things I will have to refer you to Cap. So we can run this ship together as we do anyway.
Every Tuesday at 8:05. But yeah. Yep, yep. Did you place it? I didn't see it pop up.
It's probably running
It's
slow.
gonna take a while. Well, with that, I just want to again say thank you for everybody coming through. Um, I ask that you like, share, and subscribe to both channels. And always feedback is always good. Constructive, respected criticism is always good. Because it's one thing to bash something, but it's a whole nother thing to bash it, well, not even bash it, but criticize it with construction that can be used to make it better. But
Right.
it's another thing to talk about something and then you have nothing to give past that.
Yep. And keep in mind when you're criticizing, if you can't do it better, you should be quiet.
Right. All the way. That part. Um, yeah. So again, that's all I have. If there's anything else anybody wants to add, I would say good night.
Good night, you all. I've enjoyed today very, very much. So I appreciate you all.
Yes, and thank you so much for your time. Again, make sure you check us out every Tuesday, 8:05 here at Cap Hill for Politics and Wellness. I'm your host, Captivating Christian, and
Your co-host, Mr. Credential.
on your way out, please make sure that you hit that thumbs up button. Please, it is vitally important. All right, and with that, we're out.
Good
Peace.
night, folks.
Good night.